Welcome back to Kansas City. Moments ago, a pregame flyover.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing like that to get the hairs on the back of your neck standing up. You can see the excitement of the Washington Redskins right there. Not many people get to see a stealth bomber up close. That was awesome to start this game.
Most of you run, Moose, when you see one of those things.
Yeah. You can run, but you can't hide.
Especially if you're goose down on the field. The Redskins have won the toss. Lawrence Tynes kicking off to James Thrash, who takes it at the 3-yard line. Thrash out across the 25 to the 26, a 23-yard return brought down by Gary Stills. Mark Brunell leads the Redskins offense out through a career-high 53 passes in the loss to Denver last week.
Well, obviously you don't want to go out and throw 53 passes. You want to be balanced, but I really feel this afternoon that the Redskin offense needs to lean a little bit on the passing game to have some success.
6 touchdown passes, only 2 interceptions. Brunell making his 4th start of the season. Redskins offense ranked 8th in the NFL. Clinton Portis in the backfield. On first down from the 26-yard line, and this is Portis, cuts it inside and picks up a first down. Clinton Portis had 4 huge games against the Chiefs as a member of the Denver Broncos. This was his last game against Kansas City.
Moss has really helped him out, and you look at this Kansas City run defense, it's the strength of that unit. Their pass defense is not as good as their run defense.
Portis picked up 13, so a 1st and 10 from the 40. The toss to Portis. And Portis out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Forced out by Kendrell Bell after a gain of 2. A look at the Chiefs secondary. Kansas City ranked 3rd from the bottom in pass defense.
And I really think that that's the weakness that the Redskins need to exploit today. And they brought in Patrick Surtain and Sammy Knight. They've stabilized the secondary, but they haven't got that production yet. The chemistry is getting close, but right now their run defense is their strength.
David Patton split to the left. Santana Moss to the right. 2nd down and 8. Play action. Brunell to the air for the first time. It's caught by the H-back Chris Cooley in Chiefs territory. A 17-yard pass play.
Great protection by the guys up front, giving Mark Brunell plenty of time in the pocket, and that is going to be what they do in this system. They'll hold the ball a little bit longer, sometimes only 2-man routes. They're trying to grow as an offense, and Bill Musgrave was brought in, and he's trying to add some things to the passing game, and they've got Mark Brunell in there on his side, but this has the potential to be an explosive down-the-field passing offense if they allow it.
Musgrave, the new quarterbacks coach. This is Portis. And he gains a couple down to the Chiefs 40, tackled by John Browning.
But they've got great linebackers for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's really the big difference. That's why they have made the jump in defending against the run. They brought in Kendrell Bell from Pittsburgh. They drafted Derek Johnson. Kawika Mitchell now, he doesn't have to cover sideline to sideline. He's got 2 good outside linebackers that have good speed and can close on the ball. Now he's only really working from tackle to tackle, and that's made him a better player.
Cooley split wide to the left. Moss in the slot. On 2nd down and 9. Clinton Portis found a hole and looks to have another Redskin first down, brought down by Kawika Mitchell.
You look for an offense to have balance at the start of a game, and that's the one thing that they will all say. You know, we may have to lean a little bit heavy in one direction or another, but what we're really striving for is balance, and the Redskins have really had a really balanced start to this game. And Clinton Portis, you know, this is a different system. It's not the old Denver Broncos push and cut back style of offense, but they're finding some big holes in the middle of this Chiefs front 7.
The Redskins have scored only 1 touchdown in the first quarter over their first 4 games. Inside handoff, it's Portis again. Not much. The first down carry brought down by Sammy Knight.
There's Joe Gibbs coming back in. You know, he's a little bit with that old school. He's got his system in place, and you know, they brought in quarterbacks coach Bill Musgrave to help out, to bring in some new ideas. But a lot of the things you will see are traditionally what he ran when he was with the Redskins in his last term as head coach. And you'll see a lot of tight ends. They're trying to incorporate what we're seeing right here. Some 3 wide sets. They still do their shift and their moves, but it's a growing process, and I think they're ahead right now.
Second down and 9, 3 receivers set. Portis the lone back. Brunell complete to Santana Moss. And Moss forced out of bounds at the 20-yard line, picks up 10. Another Redskins first down.
Well, Santana Moss is working out of the slot right here. He's going to have those quick feet. He's going to be able to move everything, get those chains down the field. So not just a guy down the field, but to throw this ball, you've got to have great protection. Watch your tailback, 26, Clinton Portis. I thought he waited a little bit too long. He let the defender close the ground on him, but he's such a strong physical guy with a good explosive pop. He was able to stop him in his tracks.
Redskins have already picked up 4 first downs. Joe Gibbs told us ball control would be a key. Keep the Chiefs offense off the field. Arrest for Portis. First carry for Rock Cartwright, the Kansas State product. And he gains 1 before he was forced back by John Browning.
Well, you've got Liddell Betts also out of the lineup. We've talked about the injuries in the Redskins secondary, but they've also lost Liddell Betts, and he's been a good complement, a good change of pace for this running game of the Washington Redskins. There's going to be an opportunity today for Rock Cartwright, who I think is an underrated guy. He's been there for a couple of years, does anything you ask him to do to be a part of this team, and he's very capable of having a big day.
And that carry, Darryl, was Cartwright's first all season. Carried the ball only twice all of last year. Mike Sellers shifts into the backfield. Brunell throws it out of the end zone. Chris Cooley, the intended receiver. Brunell was under pressure from Jimmy Wilkerson.
Well, you put a guy in. Now, Rock Cartwright, he's got to be ready. It's like everything else in the NFL. If you're a backup, you got to be ready to play. There he goes, number 31, chops down Jared Allen, number 69. You don't have to change anything you're doing because as a coaching staff, you have the confidence that as a backup, you're going to be able to go in and execute the game plan the way you should. And here comes that noise that we talked about at Arrowhead Stadium. You get into the red zone, you better have some tremendous focus.
And the Redskins call timeout.
Important for the Washington Redskins to come out and have a fast start today, and they've done just that. A nice opening drive, but you look at what they've been doing in the first quarter throughout the year. They've done a good job with keeping the ball and gaining time of possession, but they're not translating into points. And when you play at a stadium like Arrowhead, you've got to take advantage of every opportunity when you get down into this part of the field and come away with some kind of points.
They're not going to make it easy here, Darryl, either with this noise. Brunell, you know, he had a hard time in practice with his voice, but he's going to have another hard time here.
Here's Brunell on 3rd and 9 to a wide open Portis, and he picks up the 5th first down of this drive for the Redskins.
Had to be a blown coverage by the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 53, Chris Griffin, is a little bit too far downfield, and Clinton Portis is able to sneak right into that open zone. 53 right here. He gets caught up with going downfield with the route right there, gets caught up in all that wash. You saw how he couldn't get back, so not a blown assignment. He just kind of got a natural pick right there and couldn't get into the flat to cover his man.
First and goal from the Chiefs' 9-yard line. Santana Moss tripped up. Sammy Knight was down on the ground along with Chris Samuels, and Knight able to trip up Moss after a 2-yard gain.
Oh, Santana Moss, he's not going to like watching this film because he had a great block from Chris Samuels to come out and kick out Sammy Knight. Got him on the ground, but Santana Moss tripped with the collision. So he had an open path to the end zone, but just couldn't keep his feet.
Chris Sampson almost had too good of a block on that one, Moose. He hit him right into him.
Second and goal, Moss in the slot. Cooley split wide to the right. The give to Portis, who has not scored a touchdown in his last 6 games. And he's wrapped up by the middle linebacker, Kawika Mitchell.
And they don't have a rushing touchdown all season, so it's not just Clinton Portis. We talked about Liddell Betts. They haven't been able to get the ball in the end zone. It's been hard for them anyway. You know, throwing the ball, anything to try and get touchdowns, but their running game has really struggled down here. And that's one of the things you have to do when you're in the red zone. You have to be able to run the ball because the coverages you're going to see down here with a shorter field to defend really goes advantage defense.
Third and goal from the 7. Brunell had the ball stripped. It's loose. And the Chiefs have recovered.
Same old for the Washington Redskins. Number 69, Jared Allen, pressure in the pocket. Swats the ball right out of Mark Brunell's hand.
A 13-play drive, all for naught.
Jared Allen with the NFL's version of the hat trick right here. Sack, forced fumble, and the fumble recovery.
So the Redskins drove for nearly 7 minutes, come away with nothing. Chiefs start from their own 18. Play action on first down. That pass intended for Tony Gonzalez. Walt Harris on the coverage. 69th consecutive start for the former Redskin, Trent Green.
Yeah, and he's got to be so excited. I mean, your left tackle is your guy that protects your blind side, but in this case, it was forcing a lot of different things to change in this Kansas City Chiefs offense. And, you know, I think we kind of look at them as maybe a not as well-known version as the greatest show on turf in St. Louis because of the similarities. But they haven't been able to reach those levels this season, and it really all goes back to Willie Roaf being out of the lineup.
Trent Green, the second oldest starting quarterback in the NFL, trailing only Brett Favre. First carry of the game for Priest Holmes. And Holmes tiptoeing down the sidelines. Good second effort. Gains 9. He lost the football. Question is, was he down before the ball came loose? Redskins certainly think so, but it will be 3rd down and 1. He was ruled down by contact.
You go back, you look with Willie Roaf being out of the lineup for the last 3 games. It's forced the Kansas City Chiefs to keep Tony Gonzalez in to shore up their protection, and he hasn't been able to get out and get down the field.
Priest Holmes on 3rd and 1 picks up the first down.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Redskins under defensive coordinator Greg Williams.
Secondary, their starting corner is out. Their starting strong safety is out. Walt Harris is just coming back off an injury. Carlos Rogers was a game-time decision. He's not 100%, so expect to see a lot of balls thrown downfield by Trent Green.
Holmes cuts to the outside and is forced out of bounds by the #1 draft pick Carlos Rogers after a gain of 3.
That's going to be the challenge for this Redskin defense today, is out there on the edge. Kansas City has a very good perimeter running game, and that has kind of been the weak spot in this Redskins defense. If there is any out there, they'll tell you that the reason that they've had a drop-off in their run defense is missed tackles. But when the big plays have been coming, they've been coming on the edge, out there on the perimeter.
You know, Moose, you talked about Willie Roaf and Tony Gonzalez earlier. I had a chance to talk with him down here on the field before the game, and he said, I would have sent a limo or anything he wanted because I am so tired of blocking people. I want to go out there and catch. He says, I am so happy that Willie Roaf is back.
Well, he creates so many problems when you can move him across the formation. And already on this opening drive, he's been in the slot. He's been in a wing.
Quarterback phones. Official rules, we have no jurisdiction over that. Play will continue.
So apparently a problem with the coach to quarterback communication. The headset in Trent Green's helmet.
Usually what they'll do in that situation is the other team should lose their ability to talk to their quarterback also. So they'll work on that. We'll see what happens when the Redskins offense gets back out on the field.
2nd down and 7. Play action. Green looking for Gonzalez, and there's a flag.
That is the staple of this offense, too, is that deep corner route. And a lot of times it's the tight ends who are running these corners. And you can see the chemistry is even off a little bit between Trent Green and Tony Gonzalez.
Illegal contact, the second contact downfield, number 53 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
There's Tony Gonzalez coming right at you. There's 53, Marcus Washington. It was the second contact. They talked about the second contact being down the field, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to jam receivers at the line of scrimmage, disrupt their release, because this is a timing-based offense, and they're trying to disrupt the timing of the routes to force Trent Green to hold the ball.
Penalty called on Marcus Washington gives the Chiefs a 1st and 10 from their own 39 as Holmes cuts it back inside. And then is tackled at the 42-yard line. Nice play by Carlos Rogers after a gain of 4.
You know, you think of Priest Holmes as a real powerful runner, but you saw right there the great vision, the ability to come all the way across the field and almost out the back door. Trent Green just a tick too late getting there, or he might have been able to throw a block to get Priest around the corner.
You know, the great thing that Priest Holmes does is not running, it's stopping. You know, everybody's running to go and tackle him. He stops on a dime and cuts back so well. I mean, it's hard to stop this guy.
What a catch by Gonzalez, then had it taken away. There's also a flag. Lamar Marshall on the coverage.
They're going to get Tony Gonzalez for offensive PI. I think he had a little shove at the end of this route. And now we got to figure out if Lamar Marshall actually made the interception. There's the disruption in the route right there with the jam and the hit. You see Tony Gonzalez trying to get a little shoulder right there. Lamar Marshall comes down with this ball.
Gonzalez made the catch, and then he was stripped by Marshall. Tony Correnti, our referee today.
There's a big call early in the game. Could go either way.
Pass interference, defense.
Wow, they went the other way.
Ball will be spotted at the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
I don't know about this. This is as much Tony Gonzalez as it is Lamar Marshall. Great concentration, great play, but at the end, watch this. Lamar Marshall comes up with the ball.
20 yards on the penalty, the first pass interference call against the Redskins all season, as Holmes takes it down to the 35. Tony, what was it like to go up against Priest Holmes in practice every day in Baltimore?
I'll tell you what, it made your defense so much better because you know you weren't going to go and face a running back that had the skills and, like I talked earlier about the stopping ability of this guy. He has such great vision on the cutbacks. I mean, he has the whole 9 yards, and also he can play chess like nobody else in the world, man. This guy's the best chess player I ever played against.
Second down and 7. Green to the outside, and the catch is made by Sammy Parker for a Chiefs first down.
You can see the Chiefs, they're into a little bit of a hurry-up right here. They're trying to control the flow of the game, trying to dictate tempo to this Redskins offense. Sammy Parker, just a little speed cut out on the outside, and there's some good timing between quarterback and wide receiver.
And Green looking over towards the sidelines. Remember, he's not getting the signals through his headset, so he has to look over at the sidelines and then relay the play.
It's become kind of like a little 2-minute drill here.
From the Redskins 26. Over the top to Holmes. Cutting outside and then chased down from behind by Cedric Killings after a gain of 6.
And that shows you the preparation of a Dick Vermeil coach team, because you take for granted the fact that these plays are being called in on a communication system between coordinator and quarterback, whoever your play caller is on the offense. But let's say you get into this situation and you lose that ability to send it in via the radio. Well, you've got to have that guy who's been also doing all your hand signals so that you don't handcuff your offense when something like this happens.
Green to the end zone, looking for Tony Gonzalez. Well, back when Dick Vermeil was coaching the Eagles, they did not have the coach to quarterback radio, so Dick and his coaching staff certainly used to sending in the plays by hand.
Well, it's just one of the things that he mentioned it about his team, playing smart, and then you talk to Joe Gibbs, and he's played against a Dick Vermeil coach teams. He knows how well prepared and how well coached they are, and it's just more evidence right here.
Third down and 4. Green rolling right, takes off, has the first down inside the 10-yard line. He needed 4, and he gained 13.
These guys that are considered pocket passers, and you're in a really timing-based offense, but, Trent Green, he's not a guy who doesn't have the ability to move the chains or create something when the play breaks down, and that's a great example right there. Yeah, he's not Michael Vick, but he'll do things like that for you to keep drives alive.
That was Green's longest run of the season. Here's Holmes down to the 4-yard line, tackled by Marcus Washington.
You got to love quarterbacks also, Moose, that don't slide at the end. They try to get that extra yard.
Yeah, you know what, Tony? That was number 21 coming in on the hit. So, I wouldn't have blamed Trent Green for sliding if number 21 is coming. Sean Taylor is a man out there in the secondary. Getting word that it's actually Trent Green on the field, and I think that's why you're seeing this kind of really resemble a 2-minute drill, because he's getting to the line of scrimmage and calling the play at that point.
Chiefs having problems with their equipment downstairs. Green looking end zone. He throws, and it's knocked down. Batted down by Walt Harris.
know, one of the things down here on the field, Moose, that I really, have to point out is the crowd, when the offense is on the field, how quiet they are and how they know that the offense needs to communicate. This is a crowd that really knows what the football game is all about and when to yell and when not to yell.
Yeah, just not a loud place to play, but very intelligent fans here at Arrowhead Stadium.
13th play of the drive for the Chiefs. 3rd and goal. Green can't find anyone. He takes off. He is brought down by Warren Holden, the former Chicago Bear, and Cleveland Brown. So the Chiefs will send out the field goal unit.
He might have got hit hard enough there to knock that radio back on inside his helmet. I'll tell you, with the quarterbacks, hey, Tony, what do you think? You're either going to hook or you're going to slide, but when they get down there and they go to, leave their feet, I mean, you're just opening your body and exposing yourself at the end of the run.
You got to love seeing that as a defensive lineman or as a linebacker. You want a quarterback that stays up, but I think Trent, he better start going down a little bit. I don't think it's too smart staying up anymore.
20-yard attempt. Lawrence Tynes gives the Chiefs a 3-0 lead. A 14-play drive. They score 3 off the turnover. Plays. Mark Brunell was sacked. He fumbled. Chiefs recovered. Kansas City drove 14 plays, but was stopped on the 2-yard line. Had to settle for a 20-yard field goal from Lawrence Tynes, and he will kick it off to James Thrash. Kick taken by Thrash at the 5-yard line. Out across the 25, across the 30. Good return by Thrash. With 2.5 remaining in this first quarter, Mark Brunell and the Redskins offense take over the ALCS. You had a look at the statue of former ALCS MVP George Brett, who was at the game here today. Brunell and the Redskins from the 31, pass complete to Chris Cooley, gains 5 out to the 36.
Well, kind of business as usual for both of these teams. You saw the time of possession earlier. They're one of the best teams in the first quarter at holding the ball. Unfortunately for the Redskins, they got nothing out of theirs. 13 plays, 55 yards. Kansas City, at least you got the field goal. And, the one thing, we talked about it earlier, when it's loud and you're on the road, you've got to have some success early. A big turnover in the red zone by Washington's offense last time out.
2nd down and 5. Portis already has 26 yards on the ground. Brunell now 6 for 7. Nice catch and spin by Santana Moss, who picks up the first down, takes it out to the 49-yard line, a gain of 13.
Yeah, I never looked at Santana Moss as that big play guy. I looked at him more like that situation right there. He can work the slot. He can run your slant routes and move the chains. We saw him get a good first down earlier with a well-run route and some yards after the catch. But he has really added the big play dimension that this offense lacked all of last season.
Acquired from the New York Jets for Lavernius Coles. 1st and 10 from the 49. Here's Portis into Chiefs territory. Gain of 3. As we say hello for the first time this afternoon to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Kenny, the excitement and risk that is Michael Vick. Fans love the excitement of his escapability, the ability to gain yards, but he runs like a running back as opposed to going down. He runs like a running back, gets hit hard on that bad knee. Did hurt it right there, but as he went off the field, he says, I am okay. Boyle, we're back to Kenny and Darryl.
All right, JB, Vick, of course, missed last week's game against New England with the knee injury. 2nd down and 8. Another first down and more for Santana Moss. Finally taken down at the 15-yard line after a 36-yard pickup.
Santana Moss, he's coming out of the slot, and you watch him, there he goes, just beats the press. He gets off of it very, very quickly right there and is able to get into the open space. There was nobody on that side of the field. So right now the Washington Redskins, they're getting their big plays in the passing game, not by throwing the ball down the field, but just giving it to Santana Moss and letting him find some open space.
4 receptions, 60 yards today for Moss. From the Chiefs 14, Portis. Portis drags a couple of Chiefs with him and gains 9 down to the 5-yard line.
Washington's offense has been very, very impressive to me. The start of this game early in the first quarter, and obviously they didn't get those points, but good balance. They're getting some big passing plays, getting everybody involved.
First quarter has come to an end.
We'll keep an eye on how that affects him on this drive.
He was bothered by a bruised shin earlier this week. 2nd and 1 from the 5. Portis. Clinton Portis is close to a Redskins first down. Eric Hicks, University of Maryland product, made the tackle.
Well, when you're an offense that's trying to grow together, and they brought in David Patton and Santana Moss for receivers. Patrick Ramsey started the season as the starting quarterback, had an injury in that first game, and Mark Brunell has been playing ever since. So there wasn't a lot of time for these guys to develop their chemistry. One of the last things that comes together is your red zone package, and that's one of the reasons the Redskins have really struggled scoring points so far this year.
And Portis did pick up the first down. A new set of downs for the Redskins. Sellers, the fullback. Portis. And he's tackled at the 3-yard line by the first-round draft pick out of Texas, Derek Johnson.
And they're going to have to be able to run the ball effectively down here. You see right now, when you look at the field, they're sitting at the 3-yard line, so that gives you 13 yards to defend till you're out of bounds. And the athletes in the NFL today, the amount of ground that they can cover, the closing speed that they have, these little zones, these opening in these zones down here close so quickly because of the skills of the players. You've got to be able to run the ball effectively in the red zone.
Moss comes in motion on 2nd and goal. Brunell rolling to his left, looking end zone, and he throws it away.
Good job by the Kansas City Chiefs. They had 2 things to worry about pre-snap. You've got play action and then fake reverse with the bootleg out the backside. Mark Brunell's got 3 receivers coming across the field. Here comes the boot with Santana Moss. Play fake, reverse fake. Here comes your boot out to the left. There's your 3 receivers on the sideline trying to move. The Kansas City Chiefs had everybody blanketed.
Now 3rd and goal. Cooley in motion. Again, a bootleg to the left. Brunell directing traffic. He throws and has the touchdown. Santana Moss.
What? I don't know how he got that one in there. I'm looking here. I'm trying to find out who he's looking at to see who's open on the play. Santana Moss. There's Chris Cooley in motion. He goes in, and he whips back out. What a great move. Here he comes right along the goal line. What a great move by Santana Moss. Hey, Tony, it's just like you said. It's not how fast you run. It's how fast you stop.
That's the truth, man. Everybody looked like they went right by him. It was an amazing throw, throwing back behind him, probably about 5 yards.
Nick Novak adds the extra point.
You scored a touchdown or you kicked the field goal. I guess you get the kickoff too. Dante Hall. It'll be interesting to see what they're going to do. You can kick directionally. You can kick a high bloop kick. You can challenge your coverage unit. I'm excited to see what their plan is.
The plan is kick it short. Taken at the 16 by Hall, who brought one back 96 yards. In the Chiefs' last game against the Eagles 2 weeks ago. 16 yards on the return. Rock Cartwright, the tackle on special teams. Chiefs have had the ball just once, and they drove 14 plays, settled for a field goal. They start from their own 32-yard line. Off the play fake, Green in trouble. And he is finally taken.
That is outstanding.
He escaped from 3 Redskin defenders. Finally threw the ball away.
He got banged up, though, a little bit on that play, guys.
Yeah, he's coming. This is the best imitation of Houdini I've ever seen. There's 1, there's 2 more guys. Goes over to the top of that. He's ducking everybody. And then the strength to be able to pop up and get that ball thrown in a way where he doesn't get the flag thrown on him.
He might be a little dizzy just from dodging all those guys. He's head bobbing there left and right.
That was
like
impressive.
Steven Seagal on that one.
Either Houdini or Michael Vick.
Well, I'm sure Michael Vick has been mistaken by Houdini at times. Good impression by Trent Green right there.
On 2nd down, takes the safer route, hands off to Priest Holmes, who is bottled up. No gain on the play. Setting up 3rd down and 10 as we check in once again with JB.
All right, Kenny, as you know, no Deuce
Boss Bailey, the brother of former Redskin Champ Bailey. 3rd down and 10. Green dumps it off to Holmes. And a good job by the Redskins defense. Tackled by Cornelius Griffin. Holmes needed 10 for the first down, and he gained 9.
What a great hustle play by Cornelius Griffin. He's going to be your defensive lineman down inside. He's going to chase this play all the way down from the backside. 96, here he comes. There's Priest Holmes. He doesn't give up on the play because at that point right there, he makes the move on Pearson Prelo. He's going to get the first down, if not for the hustle of Cornelius Griffin coming from his pass rush.
First punt of the game. It's the rookie out of Tennessee, Dustin Colquitt. Son of former Steeler punter Craig. Punting from his own 30. Fair catch called for by James Thrash, falling forward at the 25-yard line. A 35-yard punt by Colquitt. Back in Kansas City, you're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in HD and presented by DirecTV. Rethink TV. Kenny Albert with Daryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa. Another opportunity for the Redskins offense. Mark Brunell, guys, has been very accurate today. 8 of 10 for 96 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I really feel that their opportunity for success is in the passing game, but Clinton Portis has done a nice job running the football. The offensive line opened up some holes for him, so they've been able to stay pretty balanced up until this point.
10 carries, 38 yards for Portis. And this is Portis on the first down handoff from Brunell, tackled by Kawika Mitchell after a gain of 2.
And that's where he's been able to really kind of different from last year. He only has to worry about tackle to tackle. I think last year he was trying to make plays. He was pressing a little bit. He was overrunning some things. But with the addition of Kendrell Bell and the drafting of Derek Johnson, I think it's really helped Kawika Mitchell because he's got great pursuit. He's got a good nose for the ball. He's a little bit undersized, but he always finds his way into where the ball carrier is.
Mitchell in his third season out of South Florida. Second down and 8. Brunell to the outside, and that is the 6th catch for Santana Moss. No gain, and Trent Green shaken up on that last series.
Yeah, I don't know if it's from his impression of Houdini on that one where he escaped about 5 guys. You know, that could be all the way back to that drive that they had a field goal when he was running when the play broke down and he tried to jump over a guy and got a helmet right in his chest.
Fans on their feet trying to disrupt the play call by Brunell.
Hang on, Tony.
I got you.
Redskins have to get to the 35. The catch is made by David Patton, but he took a hard hit from Sammy Knight, so the Redskins...
This is well executed on both sides. The blitzer goes in. It's a hot adjusted route. They throw and catch, and then Sammy Knight, a veteran, knows what's coming, gets over there. But watch the adjustment. Here comes your blitzer. Okay, now we got to throw hot. We adjust our route, but here comes your free safety in because it was an adjustment that was going to get some yardage. But you don't fool a guy like Sammy Knight who's been in the secondary. Yeah, give David Patton a pat on the back on that one because that takes a lot of guts to run that slant, knowing when you got a big, strong safety coming down to put a helmet on you.
Here come the chains. Patton knows Knight very well, playing in the AFC East the last couple of years with New England against Knight, who was in Miami. Redskins stopped just short, so they will send out their punter Derek Frost for the first time.
Well, that was a good play to watch. I mean, it's well executed on both sides of the ball. The offense adjusting to what the defense is doing. They do the throw catch, and then a good play by the Kansas City defense. You've got a blitz, you've got that hot adjust coming at you, but they've even got that covered with Sammy Knight coming up and making the tackle.
Fourth and inches, so the Redskins will punt. Dante Hall waiting back at his own 25-yard line. Punter Derek Frost, a Missouri native, grew up in the St. Louis area. And fair catch at the 26 by Hall. 40-yard kick. Priest Holmes
really struggled with that. You look at their over 200 minutes. They've only got 2 all season long. The Redskin offense is always forced to drive a long way to get any type of points. So we'll see if this Redskin defense, they've had opportunities for interceptions, fumbles, but they just haven't been able to come up with the ball.
On 1st and 10, the pitch to Larry Johnson, his first carry today, and he picks up big yardage all the way out to the 45-yard line. A 19-yard pickup for Johnson.
This is just a staple of this defense to get you on the perimeter right away. It's a crack toss. You bring your motion guy in. He's going to come in from here. You're going to get a crack. Then you're going to get your offensive lineman pulling out and around. Very athletic offensive linemen across the board for the Kansas City Chiefs. They can pull the center, they can pull the guards, and you'll see their tackles pull. All 5 of these guys, very athletic.
Johnson usually plays every third series. This is the third offensive series for the Chiefs. Johnson again into Redskins territory. He gains 6 more, brought down by Pearson Prelo.
The Kansas City Chiefs trying to exploit the perimeter like other teams have done earlier this season. The Seattle Seahawks, a couple of big runs by Sean Alexander on the outside. You go back to that Denver game, a great move by Tatum Bell right there to make a guy miss. But again, it's on to the sidelines, and you've got all that pursuit. You've got a good back and make one guy miss. There's going to be a big scene.
Off the play fake on 2nd and 4. The pass is caught by Sammy Parker for another Chiefs first down. Parker's 2nd catch today, a gain of 18 more.
And now you're getting into that rhythm of the Kansas City offense where you're getting some good running plays, and now all of a sudden you're able to throw the ball down the field. A good route by Sammy Parker right there. He turns the defender around. Walt Harris bites on the inside move. He breaks it to the outside.
First and 10 for the Chiefs from the Redskins 33. Johnson remains in the Kansas City backfield. Johnson again. First time the third year back out of Penn State is forced back, a loss of 1 as we check in once again with James Brown.
14-7 back to Kenny Albert.
Thanks, JB. Panthers looking to hand the Lions their first home loss of the season. Play action on 2nd and 12. And the pass is caught down at the 19-yard line. Sean Taylor able to make the tackle after a 16-yard pickup by Dante Hall.
What the play action allows you to do is get your receivers farther down the field. If Kansas City is going to take a shot down the field, it's going to come off of play action. That's why it's so important for them to get that running game going. And now you're starting to see what they can do off of those play fakes. It gives Dante Hall or Eddie Kennison a lot of time to get down the field. That's when the 12, 15, 18-yard routes start coming into play.
10th catch of the year for Hall. Kennison still without a reception today. From the 19, Green over the top. And Larry Johnson picks up 2.
One of the things that we've been waiting to see, and in Kansas City, it's not really a big part of their package, is the 3 or 4 wide receiver sets, because we've talked about the health of this Redskins secondary. What you'd like to do is stretch that depth and force some guys in who are not healthy or who don't have a whole lot of experience. But Kansas City bases their offense off their tight ends. It's really a system that originates around Tony Gonzalez and Jason Dunn and Chris Wilson, the 3 tight ends that they can get on the field.
2 on the field right now, 2nd down and 8. Off the play fake. Green to the end zone looking for Gonzalez. Incomplete. Marcus Washington on the coverage. Gonzalez wanted a flag.
Well, it's similar to the one that we saw earlier in the game with Lamar Marshall was covering Tony Gonzalez. This time the officials decide to let him just battle a little bit down the sideline. But this is just a little out and up by Tony Gonzalez. You see he's going to sell the flat. And then he's going to turn up the field. Marcus Washington does a good job not biting on that flat route.
You know, Moose, you're talking about the play action. One thing I haven't seen both of these defensive linemen do is convert. You know, they both play. Washington a little bit more plays upfield, but you have to go, and when you go and play the run, you have to convert when you see the pass and get some pass rush. You can't always rely on Greg Williams calling the blitz.
It's the recognition of, you know, who's got the ball, finding the ball. And, you know, you're going to have play action, but as a guy, and you know.
Chiefs use their 2nd timeout. Now 3rd down and 8, empty backfield. Green in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 21-yard line. Cornelius Griffin with his 2nd sack of the season.
Good pressure by Cornelius Griffin. Again, coming off the nose in there, fighting through a lot of traffic. But you got to throw this one onto the secondary as well, because Trent Green didn't have anywhere to go with the ball. Cornelius Griffin able to get there and get the sack. Good red zone defense today by the Washington Redskins.
Right there, it looks like he wants to go and plant his feet, but he never gets time to go and get both feet on the ground.
Earlier, Tynes from 38, it is good. So the Chiefs pulled to within 1 after a good job by the Redskins defense. The sack by Griffin on 3rd down. So with 5:54 remaining. So a baseball doubleheader on Fox following football. James Thrash back deep for the Redskins. Thrash, the 9-year man out of Missouri Southern. Running east-west, and he's tackled at the 23-yard line by Darrell, a former Syracuse Orange man. Rich Scanlon from your alma mater.
Now we got a few of them scattered around the NFL. Not a good day for the Orange alma mater yesterday, though. Oh, goodness.
Glad you brought that up. Glad you brought that up.
Cedric Killings limping off the field as Mark Brunell leads the Redskins offense back out.
I never thought I'd hear back-to-back losses by the Syracuse Orangemen to UConn and Rutgers.
Wow.
And Tony, you keep quiet down there. Your alma mater's not doing all that great.
University of Pittsburgh hasn't done much better either, Moose.
It was a college game here at Arrowhead last night. Redskins start from their own 23. Pass caught out of the backfield by Portis. And he gained 6 out to the 29.
This is really the first time this season that the Redskins have gotten off to this kind of start. What we've seen from them in the past is the ability, and Joe Gibbs talks about it, he knows what the makeup of this team is. They're never going to quit. And they never feel like they're out of a game. And in the 4th quarter, they have shown some great stuff getting back into these games. But he wants to transfer that to the beginning of the game. And I think we've seen some steps, some progress in that direction so far today.
2nd down and 3. Here's Portis. Quick Portis picks up 1st down. Joe Gibbs and Dick Vermeil coaching against each other as head coaches in the NFL, Darrell, for the first time in 23 years since 1982.
And really, when you look at them on film, there's still a lot of the same things that they're doing. And, you know, even that big time frame, they still know what to expect from one another. And you know, actually a good relationship, you know, calling each other, talking to each other. When Joe Gibbs came back in the league, Dick Vermeil, one of the first people to call and wish him well, and especially during his first tough season last year, checking on him and make sure everything was okay.
They exchange information at times from the 38.
Moose, you think they exchanged the right information this week when they face each other? You know how much of a competitors these two are.
Maybe some misinformation.
Well, we take you back to it's the longest gap ever in the NFL between meetings between 2 head coaches, 23 years. 2nd and 10. Brunell to the outside, nearly picked off, broken up beautifully by Dexter McCleon.
They had that one set up. Actually, the Redskins lucky to get away with it. You see the blitzers coming up off the slot. He jumps the route. Dexter McCleon knew what was coming. You had an adjustment on the outside. You see him pointing. I had that. I had that. Just couldn't get there in time. Just missed it. Not quite there.
It's not Fosman and Jaworski today. It's Green and Brunell. Brunell and the Redskins facing a 3rd down and 10. Out of the shotgun, they have to get to the 48 for a 1st down. Brunell takes off. Lost the football. Battle for it at the bottom of the pile. What do you think's going on down there, Tony?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of eye poking if I was in that pile, but you got to fight for that ball. And then, until they call it like they just did. It's anybody's ball.
Chiefs have it. 2nd turnover by Brunell, and again it's Jared Allen.
Yeah. Again, it's great hustle down the field. Jared Allen, here he comes. Jared Allen, 69, right there. He's the one that gets the hit, chasing the quarterback up the field to pressure, and then retracing and going downfield with him when he scrambles. So we saw Cornelius Griffin do it for the Washington Redskins. Now Jared Allen does it for the Kansas City Chiefs and generates a turnover.
You know, when I was with the Ravens, we used to play Mark Brunell all the time, and one of the things that our coaches would harp on is when he runs with the ball, it's always out where you can go and smack it or slap it. That's one thing he's never went. He never tucks the ball when he's running.
So Jared Allen today with 1 sack, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries.
A hat trick and a double play. We'll call that one the double play. Tie it in with a baseball promo.
Very nice. So Jared Allen, who led all NFL rookies in sacks last year with 9 out of Idaho State, having a huge first half, forcing 2 Mark Brunell turnovers.
You know, it's strange, Tony, that when you talk about that, when you cross the line of scrimmage, you think a quarterback would pull it back in and tuck it. Because if he's scrambling behind the line of scrimmage, he's still got the ability to throw the ball down the field. But, you know, they have such a good feel for where that line of scrimmage is that you would think that once that they knew that they had crossed it, they bring it in closer to the body. But, you know, you watch the replay, it's exactly like you talked about. He's still doing the same thing. He's downfield, and it's in his left hand away from the body.
Yeah, majority of the quarterbacks do. Once you cross the line of scrimmage, it's tough. Really having a hard time, huh? Getting bumped and bruised every game.
Now Green lost the handle and recovers.
Fumble on the exchange. It was recovered by Trent Green.
You know, with Brunell having turned the ball over twice already today, Darryl, do you think it brings back memories for Joe Gibbs the last time he coached against Dick Vermeil? Ron Jaworski, 4 interceptions in that game.
Yeah, I mean, they have they've had a hard time here. They've never won here, and you know, you can't on the road, you can't turn the ball over. You know, it's a big deciding factor when you're playing at home, but when you go on the road and you turn the ball over, it's a huge difference maker.
Now the toss to Holmes, nowhere to go. And Holmes gets back to midfield. Brought down by Ronaldo Wynn, losing 10 yards on the play.
You know, we showed Trent Green with an ice pack on his chin, but you know, he ran for a couple of plays, but on this play, when Priest cuts back, he actually throws a block and throws his body in there. He's going to be sore tomorrow, Moose.
He picked the bigger guy, too. He picked Cornelius Griffin to try and throw that block on. But what a good job by the Skins defense right here. You have the sudden change. You've got the turnover, but the Washington Redskins defense comes out. They've played great in the red zone. And here in another special situation during the course of the game, which is sudden change, they've come out and they forced a long yardage third down situation.
Third down and 21. Green spins. Now sets up the screen to Holmes. And Holmes is tackled at the 47-yard line. A gain of 3, so the Chiefs forced to punt as we hit the 2-minute warning. Chiefs went backwards on that drive. They'll punt. Chiefs will punt it away. Colquitt back at his own 38. James Thrash in single safety for the Redskins. High kick and a fair catch at the 15-yard line by Thrash. 32-yard punt. And some extracurricular activity. A flag has been thrown. Carlos Rogers involved, chatting with Kawika Mitchell now. Couple of penalties as the line judge Ron Blum threw his hat after he had already thrown his flag.
At the conclusion of the play, personal foul, receiving team number 22. Grabbing the face mask and jerking the player's head down. This penalty will be assessed half the distance of the goal. First down.
Actually threw his hat when the player Bo Richter was forced out of bounds.
He marked the spot where he went out of bounds to let him know. You see right there. And I like that it's not offsetting penalties. I like the fact that they're trying to move toward the rule where, you know, we're going to penalize one team for committing the foul. With the offsetting penalties, nobody really suffers anything right there. That situation where Carlos Rogers kind of loses his cool a little bit, backs up the Washington Redskins. And when you're down near the end zones at Arrowhead Stadium, everybody better be focused, because you're not going to hear much of anything in this situation.
Redskins start from their own 7-yard line following the penalty. And they keep it on the ground with Portis, and he gains a couple out to the 9-yard line. Kawika Mitchell made the tackle. Chiefs use their final timeout while on defense. They stop the clock with 1:47 remaining in the half. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the National Football League and the Fox Sports ticker as up to the second scores and stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. Mark Brunell had a 24-6 lead over the Philadelphia Eagles.
Didn't pan out too good for him, though, in the second half.
Nope, but they scored a lot of points against that Eagles defense. Second down and 9, it's Portis. Looking to cut to the outside, and he is taken down by Jared Allen, who has had a tremendous first half.
He's just been everywhere, and it's a lot of hustle plays, too. I mean, he's playing off people. He's got the sack fumble. He's got the other one where he caused the fumble and recovered it. You see him just feeling his way through there. Sometimes you see the linebackers do that. They're a little bit undersized, but Jared Allen's a big, tall guy, and he's still finding his way through all those blockers from the Redskin offensive line to make a hit behind the line of scrimmage.
I think he already has the AFC Defensive Player of the Week award wrapped up. Third down and 11. Portis out across the 10, and now the Redskins will let the clock run down, and then they will punt. Chiefs do not have any timeouts remaining.
They'll have a little bit of time left, and the big play potential of this offense, they could move themselves down into field goal range. Lawrence Tynes, pretty strong leg for a kicker. A lot of confidence in himself. Says he's one of the best guys in the league. He's going to have an opportunity to prove it maybe here.
He's 2 for 2 today, has field goals from 20 and 38 yards out. Frost will punt from his own end zone. Dante Hall waiting at midfield.
Good job by the special teams taking this clock all the way down to 1 second. They're going to call a timeout now.
So the game clock at 20 seconds in Anaheim.
Let's not forget that Dante Hall is returning this punt too.
Yes. Good kick. What a kick by Frost, forcing Hall all the way back to the 35-yard line.
Circle the wagons.
Mike Sellers looks to bring him down. He could not. And the only problem is 17 seconds ticked off the clock, and Hall lost a yard after the 54-yard punt.
More important than that, he lost about 6 or 7 seconds, but I can't tell you how impressive that was by the Washington Redskins punt coverage team. Number one, a tremendous punt to get the whole thing started by Derek Frost, but then...
You'd like to see him try and bring it back. The Chiefs probably would have had time for at least 2 plays, maybe 3.
I'll roll the dice with Dante Hall. He's pretty special. That was fun to watch anyways.
So, barring a defensive penalty, final play of the half.
They test you all game long.
So at the half in Kansas City, it's the Redskins 7 and the Chiefs.
But Washington came right back, getting off to a good start, a better start they have in weeks past, get the touchdown. The red zone defense by the Redskins has been outstanding. They've been holding them, forcing them to kick field goals. That's been the difference today. They had
committed both first half turnovers. Chiefs did a good job holding on to the football.
Yeah, obviously, the difference in the first half, and just a credit to what...
As we start this second half, Nick Novak filling in once again for the injured John Hall. Dante Hall will get his second opportunity. His first kickoff return today, just 15 yards. Second half underway here in Kansas City. A short kick taken at the 20 by Hall. Dante out to the 38-yard line, 18 yards on the return. Brought down by Chris Clemens, whose Uncle Charlie played for Dick Vermeil in St. Louis. So good starting field position for the Chiefs from their own 38-yard line.
And that's been a luxury that the Redskin offense hasn't been able to have this season because of the lack of turnovers. But I'm going to give credit right now to the coverage units of the Washington Redskins. The punt right before the end of the first half, very disciplined in their lane integrity. They didn't get out of their lanes to give Dante Hall an opportunity to break a long return. And right there, again, good coverage on one of the most dangerous return men to play in the NFL.
Well, first and 10 for the Chiefs from their own 38-yard line. Green to the air on first down. Tony Gonzalez. And Gonzalez out to the 40, gains 2 on his first reception of today's game.
Well, this is something that I think we're going to start to see more of. Watch them move the pocket. They're going to move the pocket over here and set it up. It's a throwback screen, but I think what we're going to see moving forward in the NFL is teams moving the pocket more to take advantage or to protect themselves against these defenses such as the Washington Redskins. When you're a big pressure defense and your quarterback is setting up, that launch point is the same play after play after play. It's a great advantage for that defense knowing exactly where they have to get to.
It's tough for a defense, too, because you gain so much extra time for the receivers to go and get wide open. It's a tough thing when a quarterback goes and sets up behind a tackle.
On 2nd and 8, the toss for Priest Holmes, nothing doing. Loss of 1. Sean Taylor came up to make the tackle.
You know, these last 2 plays that we saw the screen to the left and then the toss to the right. These are plays that you run against lazy defenses. That is not what we're seeing here today with the Redskins. They're running to the ball, they're aggressive, they're swarming. These plays aren't really characteristic of what we're seeing here today as far as the defense.
No, lazy is one word you'll never hear used when you're talking about the Redskins defense. They got tremendous pursuit to the ball, and as you mentioned, Tony, anything sideline to sideline, they're going to be tracking it down.
Now 3rd down and 9. Chiefs have to get to the 48 for a first down. Green with time, could not find anyone. And it looks like he has the first. We saw Trent Green scramble in the first half for 13 yards, and here he gains 11.
Well, this is just a 2-man route, and the 2 guys are out to the left side of the screen. Here's your slot. There, he's got another guy outside. A motion comes across, but it's max protection. Priest Holmes checks out late, but Trent Green has nowhere to go with the ball because the Redskins drop everybody back in zone coverage. You've got two guys. Basically, you're being double-teamed by your coverage because you've only got the 2 guys out, and then they're in the same area of the field.
26 yards on the ground for Trent Green today. Here's Priest Holmes. Penalty marker. Holmes picks up a first down and more.
You're probably going to get another 15 yards tacked onto it.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, contact to the helmet. This penalty will be assessed 15 yards from the end of the run.
It's going to be number 53. Marcus Washington, he gets around the block by Priest Holmes. Now, I don't think that was a design play. I hope it wasn't. I think that's just good chemistry between Priest Holmes and Trent Green. I don't know if that's a design screen.
That was a big thing that they were concerned about getting Priest Holmes on the field and tackled because they struggled with that a little bit last week.
And Tony, Priest gained 21 and then tack on another 15 on the penalty, so 36 yards in all. And the Chiefs have a first down on the Redskins 14.
We'll see if they can continue to tighten up that red zone defense right here. They've held them to field goals up until this point this afternoon.
Larry Johnson has checked in. This is Johnson on the toss inside the 10. And finally forced out of bounds by Marcus Washington at the 6-yard line.
And we talked about the athleticism of this Kansas City Chiefs offensive line, and it is across the board. It doesn't matter if it's your tackles, Willie Rofe and Jordan Black, your guards, Brian Waters, Will Shields, or even Casey Wigman, the center. They can all pull. They can all get outside on the perimeter. Larry Johnson, great patience to allow those big guys to get out and open up a running lane for him.
3 of the 5 went to the Pro Bowl last year. Rofe, Shields, and Waters. 2nd and 2. From the 6, Priest Holmes into the end zone for the touchdown.
Carlos Rogers pleading his case. I think he feels as though he was held on the play. But you watch, Priest Holmes is going to give you a little dip into the middle and then the burst to get to the outside. Kind of self-inflicted by the Washington Redskins right there with that roughing the passer penalty.
And now the Chiefs will go for 2 to try and take a 7-point lead.
Now you can get caught in situations where you try and get back on schedule early in the game. It's 11:38 in the 3rd quarter. You start chasing that 2-point conversion. I don't think that this is a question. I know they've got that chart and you look at them, and obviously this would be one of those situations, but I don't think you really go to that card until you're about the midway point of the 4th quarter.
2-point conversion attempt. Jump ball situation. It is caught by Mark Boerichter for the 2-point conversion. So the Chiefs out on top by the score of 14-7, fourth touchdown of the season for Holmes.
And long enough to get the throwback. Just jumps right in there, right, Moose? Get your money's worth.
120th consecutive sellout here at Arrowhead Stadium. A six-play, 62-yard drive culminating in the 6-yard touchdown run by Priest Holmes. Gains Thrash on the return for the Redskins. Takes it out across the 30, brought down by Gary Stills, 23 yards on the return. Chiefs fans on their feet. Redskins start from their own 31-yard line, trailing by 7. Brunell to throw on first down. He spun around and down he goes. Back at the 21-yard line. Third sack of the game for the Chiefs. This time it's John Browning.
Yeah, but it was Lionel Dalton that got the initial pressure, kind of got everything started. He's right over the nose, gets by. He's the one that flushes Mark Brunell, makes him pull the ball down. John Browning comes in, cleans it up. These Kansas City Chiefs come out ready to play on both sides of the ball, Tony.
You know what, man? When you're Lionel Dalton, you get that opportunity. You got to make that play right there. It's horrible going and you're missing that play and all of a sudden seeing one of the other guys going and getting that one. But now they're starting to get penetration, Moose.
And Lionel Dalton, a former Washington Redskin. Second down at 19. Santana Moss. First down and more. Down the sideline. Santana Moss takes it all the way. 78 yards for the Redskins. Touchdown.
Well, I've just had my two least favorite plays in the NFL show great results. The jump ball, fade in the goal line situation, and now the wide receiver screen. I'm going to show you why this works. Number 60, Chris Samuels. Watch this on Kendrell Bell. Gets him knocked, and then he gets the leverage on him. He gets a big collision, gets him stunned a little bit, then he jumps to the inside, creates an alley. Santana Moss, you know, I didn't know he had that type of speed. I didn't know that the potential was there every time he touches the ball.
He kicked them afterburners on, man. He was gone.
Novak adds the extra point. Remember, in Dallas, Moss caught a game-winning 70-yard touchdown pass. This one, 78, the longest reception of his career.
Isn't that who I picked for my fantasy player of the game? Did I pick him? I want to change my vote.
Sounds good to me. Here's Dante Hall. Out to the 28-yard line.
Well, this is a successful play for a couple of reasons. Chris Samuels here does a great job on the block, and then Greg Wesley, the safety, takes a poor angle to the play. But I want you to watch number 60, Chris Samuels. He's coming inside out, but watch how he establishes the leverage. Right there, he hits, he spins, and he gets back to the outside. And there you see Greg Wesley coming from the inside out. Took a bad angle. I think he anticipated Kendrell Bell being able to stop Chris Samuels and turning that play back inside. But it was such a good block by Chris Samuels. He got out of position.
It's hard. And them offensive linemen do not want to block those little guys. I'll tell you what. It's you know, it's a compliment to him with that athleticism that he has to go and make that block. That's not an easy block to make.
Larry Johnson brought down by Carlos Rogers after a gain of just one. Redskins answered just 50 seconds after the Chiefs took the lead on the Priest Holmes touchdown run. Redskins come right back, and this game is deadlocked at 14.
Well, it's not going to be that way for Kansas City. I don't really see Kansas City hitting those big plays. You know, Washington is too disciplined in their approach. They're going to test their patience. You got to take your chunks when you can get them. But I don't expect to see a 78-yard touchdown pass against the Redskin defense.
Larry Johnson up the middle for 5. His teammate at Penn State, LeVar Arrington, again in uniform, did not play last week. And we have not seen LeVar on the field today for the Redskins.
Yeah, the first time in his career he was active for a game but didn't get on the field. And they've got to find a way to resolve this situation because there's lines drawn in the sand on both sides by the coaching staff and by LeVar Arrington. I think the biggest thing, there's a lack of trust there on both sides. And until they get this thing resolved, this is going to be the way this situation unfolds. And because of salary cap reasons, LeVar is going to be there for a while. So for both sides, they've got to find a way to get it resolved.
Third down and 4. Sammy Parker out at the 40-yard line, the intended receiver. What do you think about the Arrington situation, Tony?
Well, you know what? I had a chance to talk to LeVar before the game. I sat on the sideline with him a little bit and really went over.
The ball hit the ground prior to the receiver possessing the ball. Therefore, the pass is ruled incomplete. It'll be Kansas City's ball, 4th down and 4 at the 34. Washington will not be charged with a timeout.
You know, one of the smart categories, turnovers and penalties. Check out the numbers today for the Chiefs. No turnovers, only 1 penalty.
Yeah, I mean, it's the signature of well-coached teams. And the first thing you want to do, and this is all 3 of those guys, Parcells, Vermeil, and Gibbs, don't beat yourself.
Whoa.
First rule of thumb with their style of coaching is don't do the things that are going to prevent you from winning. It's hard enough to win a game anyways when you're doing everything right. But if you start having penalties and turnovers, it's going to be a big uphill battle.
What else do they have in common? They have all won Super Bowls. 6.
There you go.
6 championships between the 3. Colquitt back at his own 20. James Thrash in single safety for the Redskins. Fair catch at the 32-yard line by Thrash. 34-yard punt. Early from their own 32-yard line. They struck quickly on their last drive. A 78-yard touchdown pass from Brunell to Moss. Brunell to the H-back, Chris Cooley. Cooley picks up the first down out to the 45, gain of 13 yards. The report on Chiefs wide receiver Sammy Parker, a left knee sprain. His return today is questionable.
Now, let's hope that that's all it is, because that bent very awkwardly at the end of that play. So hopefully Sammy's not got too much wrong with that knee.
From the 45, Clint Portis into Chiefs territory, lost the football, but he was ruled down, and that cannot be challenged. Ruled down by contact at the Chiefs 49.
Jared Allen, number 69, has had a big day. He gets inside. Again, he's the guy making a swat at the ball. A little stunt there by the defensive line. They had Lionel Dalton upfield. They had Jared Allen upfield. So, Tony, I think they're thinking of taking a cue from you. They're trying to get some penetration.
They're listening to the telecast.
Cooley shifts into the backfield, and he leads the way for Portis. And again, it's Gerald Allen. Allen tackling Portis from behind after a gain of just 1.
You know, Moose, I'm sitting down here watching. It's Chris Cooley, number 47. He's a real versatile guy. Get out on the corner, catch passes. He's doing a great job of blocking up in the middle and stringing people free. He does a great job of everything that he does.
Yeah, he's a perfect fit for what Gibbs does with his offense. And you know, the H-back kind of went away when Joe Gibbs left the NFL. As soon as he came back, he probably found one of the better guys that was available in Chris Cooley to play that spot.
Brunell on 3rd and 3, that time looking for Cooley. And there is a flag. Greg Wesley on the coverage.
3 more downs for the Redskins.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 22. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Get Dexter McLeon for the holding, and not even right there at the play. It was Greg Wesley who was in the coverage where the ball was intended. But up here at the top of your screen, that's where the penalty was called. Everything's good right there. It's the hold happened after they got downfield a little bit further.
So a rare Chiefs penalty as Brunell steps out of bounds at the 41-yard line after gaining a yard.
There's that element that's just so hard to guard against. And Tony, I know that the scrambling quarterback and moving around, you don't have anybody assigned to him. He's kind of the unknown out there.
You know, we always used to assign somebody to Mark Brunell when we played against him. But when you go out and you play a defense, just a basic defense, and you don't assign somebody, it sort of causes confusion because the coach can't come to the sideline and say, well, defensive line, you guys got to go and keep this guy contained, or linebackers, you got to stay in touch with this guy. It's hard unless you have a guy that's just focusing on him primarily.
Out of the shotgun on 2nd and 9, Brunell makes the connection with James Thrash for a Redskins first down.
That has been an effective play in the offense of the Redskins today. The slant pattern, Santana Moss took a couple short slant patterns and broke them into big plays in the first half. Now James Thrash getting involved, but there must be something in the middle of the field that they saw that they feel that they can exploit in that Chiefs defense.
Brunell over 200 yards for the afternoon. This is Rock Cartwright filling in for the injured Liddell Betts. And Cartwright takes it down to the 25-yard line, a gain of 7.
Redskins continuing to maintain that good balance. They come out, they throw the quick slant, and even with Clinton Portis out of the lineup, you know, Rock Cartwright comes in, and again, we talked about him in the first half. You don't have to change anything. This is a guy, he's going to do everything you need to be done in his role as a player on the Redskins, but when his opportunity comes, he's going to be ready. He's going to take advantage of it.
2nd and 3 from the Chiefs' 25. Cartwright gets it back inside, lost the football, and the Chiefs have it. Sammy Knight inside the 30, the 20. He will take it 80 yards into the end zone. The 3rd Redskins turnover, and Knight turns it into his 5th career touchdown.
This has been a problem for the Redskins all season. They're -5 in the turnover ratio, and you just get done talking about how Rock Cartwright is such a solid backup because he's not going to have a play like this that can get you beat. Good hustle by Derek Johnson to get down the field, and again, it looked like it was Jared Allen on the big hit that knocked the ball loose.
Lawrence Tynes hands the extra point. The 3rd forced fumble of the game for Jared Allen. And then Knight takes it 80.
We'll see what the response by the Redskins is.
How willing will Joe Gibbs be this week to accept the league-wide turnover information that Dick Vermeil sends to him?
Yeah, I'm sure he saw what happens when you turn the ball over on the road.
Thrash on the return out to the 33-yard line. 3 forced fumbles by the Chiefs defense, Tony.
You know, Greg Williams talked about there comes opportunities in a game when you have the momentum and it's against you that you must hit the quarterback. This is one of those opportunities that he's going to get, that he has to go after the quarterback, try and hit him and change his momentum that we can feel down here on this field.
Mark Brunell with a couple of turnovers in the first half. Rock Cartwright moments ago, and now Clinton Portis back in the game. Redskins 1st and 10 from their own 32. Off the play action. Brunell's pass caught along the far sideline by Santana Moss. His 8th reception of the game, and it's good for 10 yards and a Redskins 1st down.
And Jared Allen is right in the face of Mark Brunell again. I mean, he's just had an incredible game this afternoon. And he does what he's supposed to do, his responsibility. He gets shoved inside by Chris Samuels. Then you got the little collision there between the offensive linemen, and he gets turned loose up to Mark Brunell.
Cooley in the slot. Moss now split to the right from the 43. It's Portis. Looks to cut it back inside. Takes it up to the 47-yard line for a gain of 4. Setting up 2nd down and 6.
But the Washington Redskins offense, and I know Tony's excited to see the defense get back on the field, see what Greg Williams' response is. And Clinton Portis is limping off again. He was nicked a little bit in the first half. And but this is a group that has really controlled the flow of the game today. It's their own mistakes that have gotten them into these positions with the turnovers, but Kansas City hasn't done a whole lot to slow down this Washington Redskins offense.
Rock Cartwright in the backfield following his turnover just moments ago. Brunell for Cooley. And Chris Cooley is forced out of bounds at the 48-yard line after a gain of just 1.
You know, the feeling down here on the field, Moose, with Mark Brunell, it seems like his hands are almost tied. It doesn't seem like he has the deep threats or the balls he really wants to throw in this offense. I think You know, these little dump passes aren't a mark by Brunell that I've played against or have I've seen in other games.
No, I think that's where they differ in opinion comes from between Mark Brunell and what they're doing offensively right now. When you're a veteran quarterback, and we heard it from Vinny Testaverde last week.
Is advised. Darryl, have you watched Prison Break yet this fall?
I caught the season opener, but Monday night is hockey night.
Good show, Prison Break. I like it.
One of the best shows on television returns next Monday. Out of the shotgun, Brunell on 3rd and 5, and the catch is made by Moss. He extends inside the 45, and he has another first down, a gain of 8.
But again, when the Redskins are moving the ball, I mean, there's not a lot of resistance by the Chiefs. They've gotten into trouble with their own mistakes. And again, look at Santana Moss, the feel he's got there. You've got those zone coverages. You go down, you find a little soft spot in the zone. Mark Brunell delivers the ball. And then good effort after the catch by Santana Moss, working for some extra yards.
Career best 160 yards receiving for Moss today. He has scored both Washington touchdowns. From the 44, the end around to James Thrash. And Thrash takes it all the way down to the 37-yard line. A gain of 8, setting up 2nd down and 2.
Since last year, they couldn't get the big plays. And in today's NFL, it's hard to go 12, 13, 14 plays. You've got to grab chunks from time to time. They couldn't do it last year, but they're doing it this year with Santana.
Rock Cartwright on 2nd and 2, picks up first down. So the Redskins moving the ball well.
Texas Stadium had gone home to get home early, and they came back and won that game. They've won in overtime. They almost pulled one out in Denver last week, on a rain-soaked day. So this group, there is no quit in them, even when they have some adversity, like that fumble return for a touchdown by Sammy Knight.
From the 33, Brunell under pressure. He escapes, and then he throws it away.
Benny Sapp, you're not going to get a cleaner shot than that very often in this league. The feel that these guys have, we saw Trent Green in the first half. Just, the awareness of what's going on around you. And on that one, Mark Brunell comes out. He's got a guy coming full speed at him. There's no panic. I mean, you just a little duck under, let the guy go flying over the top, pop back up, throw the ball down the field.
Clinton Portis has checked back in. He's been bothered by a left calf problem throughout the second half. Brunell on 2nd and 10, airing it out, looking for Thrash. It's picked off, but there's a flag. Greg Wesley with the interception, but a penalty marker was thrown while the ball was in the air.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, defense number 22. 5-yard penalty will result in an automatic first down.
The Chiefs are just continuing to give opportunities to the Washington Redskins. That's the second one on Dexter McCleon that's given them. The first one, after they had made a stop on 3rd down, gives them 3 more plays. This one negates the interception right there by Greg Wesley. This is very, very uncharacteristic of a Dick Vermeil coach team right now. And that is the look of disgust.
He's pacing the sidelines.
What did Dick tell us about teams who commit defensive penalties and the high percentage of drives in which the opposing offense scores?
Yeah, there's a strong correlation to points off of drives that are kept alive by defensive penalties.
From the 28 on first down, pass batted down. It was intended for David Patton. Greg Wesley got a piece of it.
Tell you what, Kansas City, when they just show their blitz, they show it and they don't care, Moose. It's totally obvious. And then Mark Brunell tried to throw it out of that, but he came up and tipped it. Nice play.
Well, they did a good job there with their linebackers, Derek Johnson and Kawika Mitchell, coming up to get the focus, the attention on them, and then nobody was able to kick back outside to Greg Wesley.
2nd and 10.
It's coming again.
Brunell gets rid of it. It's bobbled and dropped by Moss. He was covered by Dexter McCleon. McCleon limping off the field. He'll be replaced by the 12-year veteran, Dwayne Washington.
They've really stayed away from Patrick Surtain today. It's been mostly focused over towards Dexter McCleon. We'll see if they test Dwayne Washington right now, but Patrick Surtain down the bottom of your screen, he's manned up with Santana Moss now. They've kind of steered clear of his side of the field.
3rd and 10. Redskins have to get to the 18. Brunell steps up and throws. It's caught by Moss for another first down. Surtain lost his helmet on the play as Moss gains 13.
But this is just a good adjustment by Santana Moss when he sees the play break down.
10th reception for Moss. From the 15, Portis. And Portis gains 4 down to the Chiefs' 11. With 1 minute remaining in this 3rd quarter, and the Redskins on the move.
Well, they're trying to find that identity in the red zone. There's not probably. It's an important drive for the Redskins right here. You know, a field goal is not going to be good enough. They need to get 7.
2nd and 6, play fake. Brunell to the end zone. Chris Cooley, touchdown.
Variation to try and contain Dante Hall. The Redskins just shifted everybody over. We'll see if they're kicking down to that side of the field. With Dante Hall's ability, he should automatically go out to his right.
There he goes.
There you go.
There you go.
Good coverage, taken down at the 25-yard line. Sean Taylor, the first Redskin downfield. A return of only 18, so the Redskins have kept Dante Hall in check.
And that, you know, that's a huge thing. I mean, you can't say enough about how these guys, whether it's the punt or the kickoff return, because against Philadelphia ended up winning the game, but they got to a point where they got some points.
They've also held Tony Gonzalez in check.
That is unbelievable. I mean, the struggles in the passing game. I knew it was going to be difficult for Kansas City to run, but I really thought with the injuries in the secondary and Willie Rowe coming back and Tony Gonzalez being able to move around, he'd have more success today.
Pass caught out across the 30 by Bo Richter. And keep in mind, Darryl, Priest Holmes has only 20 yards on the ground.
All their big playmakers, Washington has done a great job on them.
However, the Chiefs have taken advantage of the 3 Washington turnovers. Big reason why this game is tied at 21. So 3 quarters in the books. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages. Presented by DirecTV, Rethink TV. High-scoring 3rd quarter. We are tied at 21. On 2nd down, Priest Holmes, who has been held to just 20 yards over the first 3 quarters, and now you can lower that total as Marcus Washington makes the hit in the backfield, and Holmes loses 6 yards.
Tony talked about earlier when they were running some plays outside with some quick things. And this defense, you don't want to do that. They're very good with their assignments and their pursuit to the ball. If your feet stop, and I know that Priest Holmes is a good running back and he's got good change of direction, but if you have to come to a complete stop, that defense is still moving at you. It's not going to be a good situation for you carrying the ball.
Holmes only the 3rd leading rusher for the Chiefs today, behind Johnson and the quarterback Trent Green. Here's Green on 3rd down and 11, and the catch is made for a first down out at the 40 by Mark Bullrichter.
It's amazing how somebody you don't really hear about steps up and starts having some big plays in the game, and Mark Bullrichter has been that guy. Had the 2-point catch, now a big catch there after a loss on 1st down.
14-yard pickup for Bullrichter, who missed all of last season with a torn ACL. It's amazing how quiet it gets in here when the Chiefs are on offense. Off the fake and around. The screen to Priest Holmes. Into Redskins territory. Holmes still on his feet. Inside the 30, the 20. Tiptoeing down the sideline.
What an effort.
He's in. Touchdown.
What an effort.
60 yards. Wow.
This is a superior individual effort and some help down the field from his buddies, but you don't do this against the Redskins defense. You don't have these types of play. Again, it's a fake play action, the reverse coming around. They slip Priest out to the backside. He's got 2 guys out in front, but now it's all him. From this point on, it's all about Priest Holmes. And the finish, he's got 2 guys closing. Look at the hustle by Marcus Washington. and then the ability down the sideline.
A spectacular play, the longest play of the season for the Chiefs on offense. Tynes adding the extra point. Kansas City back on top. On the screen, 60 yards from Green to Holmes. Chiefs by a touchdown.
I can't tell you how impressive the final part of that play was. He's exhausted at this point, but watch the awareness on the sideline and the effort to get in the end zone. And this Washington Redskin defense has been excellent today in the red zone. You wonder if at that point, if he doesn't get in, they're going to hold the Chiefs to another field goal.
Nehemiah Broughton on the return. He's a rookie 7th-round draft pick out of the Citadel. A return of only 4 yards brought down by Rich Scanlon.
The best thing about scoring a touchdown in the NFL, a little bit of family time.
Priest is a big family guy, man. He does a great job.
Must spend a lot of family time considering how many touchdowns he scored in his career. More than made up for it with that last catch and run.
Yeah, and look what he's doing after the catch, 91 yards. It shows you he's not getting downfield very far when he's making these catches. A lot of them behind the line of scrimmage like that last screen.
Redskins again trailing by a touchdown. Start from their own 20. Brunell can't find anyone downfield, throws it away.
You know, you move into your left. You've got a 3-man route. You've got 2 guys in your line of sight. And, you know, it's just hard. You know, sometimes it's hard. And if the defense you're playing against knows that, they're not going to bring a whole lot of pressure on you because you're doing a max protection or a 7-man protection that the majority of the time, they're going to drop their guys back and cover you in zone coverage and try and fill up all those soft spots.
We talked about it earlier. That max protection is almost a waste because you don't get those guys out of the formation and give him more options to throw the ball.
Guess who? Jared Allen again. Wow.
Kenny, you says he won the Defensive Player of the Week. I think he solidified it right there.
Yep.
He's going up against Chris Samuels, and there's the situation right there. You know, you talk about backs chipping and what's going on. What he did right there was he chipped Jared Allen right back inside of Chris Samuels. But he started the day with the hat trick, with the sack, forced fumble, and a recovery. Followed it up with a forced fumble and a recovery. Was in on another one when they fumbled the ball. But I'm going to put that last one on Clinton Portis. That wasn't Chris Samuels. Clinton Portis knocked him off of Chris Samuels.
And now the Redskins facing a 3rd and 17.
Washington.
Brunell calls timeout. Second-year defensive end Jared Allen, 5 tackles today, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. A career day for Jared Allen. 3rd down and 17. Here he comes again. He's got him.
He's going to the Pro Bowl this time.
My goodness.
Calm down, Kenny. Calm down. He's coming out anywhere, this kid.
Oh, my God. They take him off of Chris Samuels, throw him over on John Jansen. He's on the other side right now. Holy cow. He's lucky he didn't have another forced fumble right there. He played it perfect. Brunell's got the ball in his hand. He's coming from the blind side, and he goes for the swat.
Derek Frost's punt taken at the 41 by Dante Hall. Penalty marker, ball into Redskins territory. 13 yards on the return. Following the 52-yard punt.
Fouls against receiving team on the return. Holding receiving team number 20. This penalty has been declined. Illegal block in the back, number 21. This penalty has been accepted. Excuse me, the number is 91. This penalty has been accepted. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Excellent job in their own 33. Chiefs leading 28-21. They've scored 3 second-half touchdowns, including one from safety Sammy Knight, who returned a fumble 80 yards. And Jared Allen with his 3rd sack. 2 on that last series, forcing the Redskins to punt. Priest Holmes on first down. Gain out to the 34-yard line, brought down by Philip Daniels. The 28 points allowed by the Redskins today. It matches the most allowed by the Redskins over the last 2 seasons since the return of Joe Gibbs. However, one of the touchdowns scored by the Chiefs defense did not come against the Washington defense.
And they've been on a short field all afternoon with the turnovers. So Greg Williams, he's had his hands filled today with that defensive unit.
Greg Williams very excited to return to his hometown of Kansas City. Has about 50 friends and family members at the game today. He spent 8 years coaching high school football here in Kansas City. Green on 2nd and 6, and it's caught by the tight end Jason Dunn. His first catch of the season, 6 yards out to the 41.
I don't know if you can call Jason Dunn a tight end. He's more like an athletic offensive tackle. I mean, that guy is gigantic.
He is big. I'm down here looking at him saying, this guy had the right number on?
And if Tony refers to somebody as big,
you
know he's big. 3rd down and 2.
The guy on the sideline was giving water to him. We had to go up on a step stool to get to him. It's unbelievable.
Priest Holmes. He fumbles right into the hands of one of his teammates. Looked like Tony Gonzalez was in the fortunate position for the Chiefs.
But that's what's happened to the Redskins this year. I mean, they have had some chances for some interceptions. They've had fumbles on the ground, but the ball just hasn't bounced their way as of yet. Priest Holmes spinning to get outside. I think it's Sean Taylor who comes in and puts the big hit on him. You're right, Kenny. It's Tony Gonzalez who catches the ball in mid-flight. They just can't catch a break trying to generate a turnover.
However, because the ball popped backwards, it looks like the Chiefs are shy of a first down. Holmes had the first down before the ball got knocked loose. How about that stat? 6 and 1 when Priest Holmes fumbles in a game.
Or maybe they did that intentionally then.
Not when you have a head coach who puts such an emphasis on turnover ratio. Looks like the Chiefs will go for it here. On their own end of the field. 4th and inches. And the Chiefs leave their offense out on the field. You surprised?
Well, it's one of those situations where Dick Vermeil's either going to be a genius on Monday or he's going to be a crazed head coach for going for it in this situation.
You got to put extra guys wherever you see that Jason Dunn. He's just another extra lineman. Looks like unbalanced right he says.
There he goes. He's going to the left side.
Chiefs 6 for 6 on 4th down. Holmes.
I'll tell you what, if he got it, it was all him.
Will depend on the spot. Gutsy call by Dick Vermeil, going for it on 4th down, leading by a touchdown in the 4th quarter.
You run behind Willie Rofe. You move Jason Dunn over to that side. You got Tony Richardson as your fullback leading in. And then you got Priest Holmes with the ball in his hand. You know, I'll take those chances on 4th and inches.
Here come the chains.
We're going to see how good our red line is.
Yep. Greg Williams, Greg Blosh, the leaders of the Redskins defense. Wow. First down.
Football is a game of inches.
So the gamble pays off for Dick Vermeil.
First and 10 from the Kansas City 43.
He had no doubt. I mean, it's a calculated risk. I mean, it is risky you're into the field, but, I mean, where they ran it and who they ran it behind, tough to stop that group.
They just made it. So a new set of downs for the Chiefs. Play action on first down. Green going long. And it's intended for Bull Richter. This is Carlos Rogers on the coverage.
They just have not been able to get in any type of rhythm down the field with their passing game. And they were so excited about the return of Willie Rofe and the ability to move Tony Gonzalez around the formation. They really felt that they were going to be able to create some things down the field, and then to come into the game and you've got injuries in the secondary, it just keeps adding to the fact that they should be good at it. You know, it's a great opportunity. And boy, he had a tough day at the office today.
He's going to be in the ice tub for a couple of days, I think.
2nd and 10. Priest Holmes. And he's hit behind the line by Walt Harris, along with Marcus Washington.
Well, it's gotten quiet in here again, Tony, but I don't think it's because the offense is on the field.
No, me neither. It's amazing the change of the level, the sound level down here. I mean, it's like really super quiet when that offense is on the field, and when the defense is on the field, it's crazy down here. This is the loudest stadium by far, not only just played in, ever been in.
What was it like as a player, Tony?
It wasn't easy. I liked it because I was on defense, and you know it was always quiet. We could always get our signals when you're on defense playing these guys.
3rd down and 10. Chiefs have to get to the Redskins 47. That pass overthrown intended for Eddie Kennison, the Chiefs' leading receiver, coming into the game, who does not have a catch today.
Well, it's kind of the same situation. We've talked about Washington doing some routes where you're limited on the number of guys out. That there was a 2-man route. You know, they're keeping everybody in, the run and play action. It's 3rd and long, so they're assuming they're going to get the pressure, but these are the only 2 guys that are going to get out in the route. 1 shallow, 1 deep. You're running a tiered route, but you've got 5 guys in coverage there.
Colquitt back at his own 30-yard line. Takes a bit of a Chiefs bounce. Out of bounds at the 15. Redskins trailing by a touchdown. Get the ball back. 8:42 remaining. Redskins start from their own 15-yard line. Clinton Portis, the lone back. Cooley now shifting into the backfield. Brunell to the air on 1st down. It's caught by Cooley. He's knocked out of bounds at the 22 after a gain of 7 yards by Sammy Knight.
He's still down. Boy, Sammy Knight put a lick on him.
He's a fullback, though. He's tough. You know how that fullbacks are move.
You're gonna get to he's going to get to his own sideline before he takes a knee. You can't take a knee on the other team's sideline. And as much as you're hurting right now, you got to get up. You got to get across the field. Get to your own sideline. There he goes right there. Let me get over there before I take a knee.
That field is so long when you got to cross and you're a little banged up, too.
Cooley with 6 catches today, including a touchdown. 2nd down and 3. Portis has the first out of bounds at the 31-yard line. How about Tampa Bay? They lead Miami 27-6, looking to make it 5-1. Casey Robach, the Redskins center, slow to get up.
This is going to be interesting because Corey Raymer is one of the guys. He hasn't been on the field yet this season, so he's going to get the.
Falcons lead the Saints in a high-scoring game in San Antonio. On the 31, the slant, and it's broken up beautifully by Patrick Surtain, but there is a late flag. David Patton, the intended receiver.
Mike got a little hook and pull on this one.
Interference, defense number 23. The ball will be spotted at the spot of the foul. Automatic 1st down.
There's your matchup up there at the top of the screen.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 7:49.
Dallas back to Kenny Albert.
The Giants.
Yeah, and both of those teams leading the NFC East right now, having a tough time holding on to the ball. The reason they're both behind is the turnovers.
Redskins have turned the ball over 3 times. From the 35 on 1st down. Brunell going deep for Moss. Covered on the play by Dwayne Washington.
Dwayne Washington, stride for stride with Santana Moss, and we've seen how fast he is today. He's impressed me with his big play speed on the outside. Dwayne Washington right there with him, stride for stride.
Numbers 20 of 28, 261. 3 touchdown passes for the first time since 2002 with Jacksonville. 2nd and 10.
Oh, great play call in that situation.
Portis, 1st down into Chiefs territory. Clinton Portis all the way down to the 42-yard line, a gain of 23.
He's frustrated at the end of this run because he knew that with that little blunder at the end of the run.
Randy Thomas was mad. He ran all the way downfield, didn't get to hit nobody.
Thomas, the Redskins right guard. From the 42. Pass is caught by the fullback Mike Sellers. Gain of 2 down to the 40.
Right now, I bring it right up in the middle of the formation where Corey Raymer's just come into the game. He's not going to have the chemistry between the guy next to him to pass the games and to adjust to their pressure packages.
2nd and 8. Pass intended for Thrash.
They've run that play, about 4 times today, and they got what they needed out of it. They got the big touchdown to Santana Moss, but the other...
You got them cornerbacks that are going to bite because they've seen it so many times. All of a sudden, you can catch them off guard a little bit.
Yeah, the one wide receiver who's coming to the inside to block on that play. You see guys, they'll design it just like you said, Tony. He'll come down to block, and then he'll slip and be the deep guy on the pattern.
Redskins have to get to the Chiefs' 32. 3rd down and 8. The tight end Robert Royal turned the other way, and the pass was behind him.
Good pressure by Derek Johnson, though. He's the guy that flushed him out of the pocket. They're lucky they didn't get a hold on that play also. But that's the reason for Mark Brunell having to move outside the pocket. He caught Cartwright back on his heels a little bit and was able to force him all the way back into Mark Brunell's area. He had to scramble out to his left.
They're going to keep the defense on the field here, Kansas City, worried about the fake, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Frost punting from midfield. Hall lets it go. It takes a Chiefs bounce into the end zone. So Kansas City will take over.
That Dallas defense doing a good job against the highest scoring offense in the NFL this afternoon.
Larry Johnson on 1st down. Good run by Johnson. Now to the 28-yard line, a gain of 8.
Again, that's the bread and butter play in this Kansas City Chiefs running game is getting Larry Johnson or Priest Holmes out on the perimeter with those big athletic offensive linemen in front of them. And it's not an easy thing to do. I mean, you've been working all day long. The defensive line will rotate through. You're going up against a fresh body, every other series, but you're out there by yourself the whole game. You're doing your pass protections and everything else, but these guys have to be in great shape for offensive linemen because they're pulling, I'd say, 50% of the time on these running plays.
Johnson averaging 6.5 yards per carry today. Looks to have the 1st down. Out across the 30. We met with Redskins free safety Sean Taylor last night.
Runner at the tight end position.
Cornelius Griffin off to the sidelines. 1st and 10 for the Chiefs from their own 30-yard line. Under 5 minutes remaining, Chiefs leading by a touchdown. Gonzalez in motion. Pass caught by Dante Hall. He struggles just to get back to the line of scrimmage as Walt Harris had him wrapped up from behind.
That's a good play by Walt Harris because it's Tony Gonzalez. He's motioning to the outside.
Precious time winding down on the Redskins, who trail by a touchdown. 2nd down and 11. Green to the outside, and the catch is made by Gonzalez for a 1st down, only his 2nd catch of today's game.
A little bit of frustration there by Tony Gonzalez, too. I'm sure that he was expecting a bigger day today, and they got him on Matt Bowen this time. Actually, Matt Bowen is in good position, and again, it's just when you face a timing-based offense and your quarterback and your receivers have been together for a long time, and the ball can come out before you've even finished your break, it's so hard to defend. I mean, Matt Bowen is coming inside out. He's in a good position, but Trent Green and Tony Gonzalez have done that so many times they could probably do it blindfolded.
Here's Larry Johnson. Tony, only 2 tight ends in league history have caught more passes than Tony Gonzalez. One was your teammate, the other was your boss, Shannon Sharp, Ozzie Newsome.
Yeah, those 2 guys, that's pretty good company to be in right there. I'll tell you, Tony Gonzalez is well deserving to be in that company.
588 career receptions for Gonzalez. Set a league record for tight ends last year with 102. And he certainly welcomes Willie Roaf back into the Chiefs lineup after missing 3 games.
Oh, he's going to wonder what happened, though, because, you know, when Willie was out, he had to stay in and help out with the protection. But with Willie back in the lineup today, I'm sure that he felt that he was going to have, you know, an 8-catch day, you know, maybe a 10-catch day, more time to use.
Chiefs got the ball with 6:04 on the clock, so they've been able to use nearly 3 minutes so far, even with the Redskins calling 2 timeouts.
There's Dante Hall right here. They like to get him in the slot, let him work one-on-one.
Chiefs have to get to the Washington 49. And the Chiefs get the flag they wanted. Bull Richter, the intended receiver, Ade Jamo, on the coverage.
Can't grab the shirt and don't think you're not going to get a penalty. That shirt was pulled.
Pass interference, defense, number 32. The ball will be spotted at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
A huge penalty.
Oh, gosh. I mean, that's exactly right, Kenny. This is just huge. You got to know the situation. You know, use your technique. Is it touchy? Yeah. Is it within the confines of the rules? Yeah, absolutely. He did. Well, you can't, like Tony said, you can't grab the jersey.
Gives the Chiefs an automatic first down. Redskins have no timeouts remaining. From the Washington 47, Larry Johnson. A good play by Marcus Washington to make the tackle. But the Chiefs will use as much time as possible. They will let the play clock run down.
I mean, you have him in 36. You know, you force the incomplete, you stop the ball. You're going to have 3 minutes, 7 seconds, 3 minutes and 8 seconds left at that time. They're going to be able to take it all the way down inside the 2-minute now.
Chiefs take their time in getting back up to the line. 2nd down and 8. Chiefs leading by a touchdown, 2.5 to play.
Where are you going to run? You're going to run. Well, there he goes. He's tricking us.
Jason Dunn on the shift and the toss to Johnson. You see more of Larry Johnson down the stretch than Priest Holmes.
Priest's got to be a little bit tired after that long screen. You want to have a fresh guy in there in this situation. So, you know, I can understand you want your best players on the field at critical times, but if Priest is a little bit fatigued, Larry Johnson's going to be fresh. He's going to be able to get you some extra yards at the end of the runs.
Chiefs take this down to the 2-minute warning. When we come back, a 3rd down and 11 for Kansas City as the Redskins try and get the ball back.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Sprint Business. With Sprint Business, you can make just about any place a workplace. Sprint Business, yes you can.
Redskins defense on 3rd down and 11. Try and stop the Chiefs and get the ball back. Green over the top, looking for the fullback, Richardson. So now the Chiefs forced to punt it away, and the Redskins will get the ball back under 2 minutes. They have no timeouts remaining.
This is not unfamiliar territory for the situation so far.
Their wins have come by 2, 1, and 3 points, and their loss by 2 in Denver. A high kick. And it takes a Chiefs bounce out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. So an opportunity for Mark Brunell and the Redskins offense following a punt of only 25 yards by Colquitt. Terrific job by our entire crew today, led by our producer Bob Stenner, director Sandy Grossman.
You mentioned Kansas, Oklahoma were here yesterday, so they got a late start and had some long hours last night. Thanks a lot, guys.
That's right. Brunell out of the shotgun from the 22 to the outside, and it's caught, brought across the 30 to the 32-yard line by Clinton Portis. Redskins with no timeouts. Portis picked up the first down. Redskins need a touchdown. Everybody out. Brunell to Thrash. James Thrash into Chiefs territory. An 18-yard pass play. We approach 1 minute remaining. Brunell stops the clock.
This is
314 yards in the air for Brunell. Brunell forced to throw it away. Did not find anybody downfield. 3rd and 10 coming up. Third down and 10. Brunell complete. David Patton has a Redskins first down at the Chiefs' 33.
Just great patience again by Mark Brunell. He knows what the situation is. He's willing to take calculated risks into the middle of the field. A big chunky yardage there, and he feels it's a good switch with the time running.
He's at his best when the pressure's on, Rich.
Rolling to his right, off his back foot. He throws it into the end zone. So the clock stops with 29 seconds remaining. The slot, Moss split to the right. Portis stays in for protection, now heads out. And the pass is deflected off the fingertips of James Thrash.
Well, we just saw that play on the highlight reel in the Dallas game. It was the exact same play that they went to at that time. This time they're trying to get it to the slot receiver, James Thrash. Now, I think he stumbles a little bit at the end of this route, and he gets kind of off balance. He's unable to go up and make that catch.
Thrash off to the sidelines. Cooley has checked in. Moss split left, Jacobs in the slot, Patton split right. Third down and 10. Brunell escapes from trouble, and now he fires downfield. Intended for Patton, and with 14 seconds remaining.
This last shot, they're trying to keep this drive alive.
4th and 10. Brunell pump fakes. Now he throws, and it's deflected away by Sammy Knight. Pass intended for Santana Moss. Sammy Knight, who scored an 80-yard touchdown on a fumble return in the third quarter, breaks up the pass, and the Chiefs will get the ball with 8 seconds remaining.
They go to their playmaker again. It's Santana Moss. Just a little release on the outside, a little bit of a hesitation there. Mark Brunell gave him a chance. Sammy Knight comes over and makes the defensive play, but that was a well-thrown ball by Mark Brunell. But the Washington Redskins, they can't blame anybody but themselves. I mean, their turnovers today were the difference in this game.
3 Redskin turnovers. Chiefs did not turn the ball over. Winning touchdown scored early in the fourth quarter on a screen pass, 60 yards from Trent Green to Priest Holmes, and the Chiefs win it by the score of 28-21. Dick Vermeil's Chiefs now 3-2. Redskins 3-2 as well. We now send you to the conclusion.